Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So apparently, letting degenerate drug use run wild isn't a recipe for success. Oregon's Democrat governor signed a bill recriminalizing drug possession after its lax policy led to a soaring overdose rates and rampant homelessness across the state. Governor Tina Kotek signed the law on Monday that rolls back a 2020 voter-approved measure that saw the possession of street drugs become a non-criminal violation, equal to that of a parking ticket. When Oregon voters approved the landmark plan to decriminalize hard drugs 4 years ago, they thought that putting an end to the jailing of drug users would do good for the state and potentially spread throughout the country. Thank God that didn't spread throughout the country. But, I mean, it's kind of obvious that it wasn't going to. It's just Oregon is a state of degenerate, Democrat, woke screwballs starting in Portland. However, overdoses soared as the state struggled to fund the enhanced treatment centers at the core of the decriminalization plan, and public opinions have soared on it as public drug use has become more visible because of growing homelessness. The state has seen a 210% increase in F-related dates since the initial decriminalization bill was passed and Kotek declared a state of emergency over the crisis in Portland in January. I'm trying not to read that word because I don't think YouTube likes it when you say it. So in 2023, 16 kids were exposed to F in the state and 539 kids were exposed to deadly drugs across the country. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Department Annual Homelessness Assessment Report, on a single night in January 2023, Oregon had 2,142 people experiencing homelessness and 64% of them were unsheltered. The governor met with officials in Oregon Department of Corrections, district attorneys, police, and community leaders before signing the bill. Meanwhile, most of the red states seem to be taking care of their problems like this just fine. The change takes effect in September, and that makes personal use possession a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in jail. Now, the DAs will probably still just let them out, but they're changing it on the book. They kind of dug themselves into a pit where it's hard to dig out. They should have been policing this on the surface level instead of letting it get so bad. Now it's going to take extra force, time, care, money, all that stuff, to create deflection programs that would divert people to addiction and mental health services instead of criminal justice system. Just like I said, they're going to try to bring in a social worker when somebody's going crazy on PCP, and like that's going to work. The law passed in 2020, combined with a pandemic, further hurt Portland's downtown, causing the streets to become an open-air drug market. You remember their little autonomous city, the Chaz Chop there in Portland? Wasn't that in Portland? According to the city of Portland, overall homelessness increased by 65% from 2015 to 2023, with 6,297 homeless people counted in the latest point-in-time count. In March 2023, Walmart announced it was permanently closing all of its locations in Portland months after CEO Doug McMillon warned of a historic rise in theft at its stores. Despite passing key ordinances within the past year to tackle drug and homelessness, the city faces impediments as it deals with addiction and unsanctioned camps. You know what would do the city a lot of good would be to refund their police department, put some good cops, lots and lots of good cops on their payrolls, and send them in here to clean these streets up for the local taxpayers and the local citizens who are actually trying to do things right. But, you know, Portland and Oregon have done to themselves kind of like what Biden is trying to do to this country. They basically advertised to the drug users of the country that you can come here and be safe doing it. As a matter of fact, I remember there was a point where the Biden administration was handing out free, crack pipes and things like that. I can't remember all the stuff that was in it, but it was like a whole kit to help people do drugs. It was incredibly shameful and disappointing to see the federal government do something like that rather than actually offer a true solution. But like I was saying, they basically said, come here and you can do whatever you want. And then all of a sudden, homelessness in itself spiked, drug use spiked, everything went way off the rails. And here we are years later, they're trying to reel it back and go back to the beginning because they've learned that they made a mistake. It's a huge mistake. Much like Biden's open borders, where he's flying people in from other countries of origin and facilitating people through Texas and Arizona. At some point, people will realize that they've gone too far and something has to be done. Hopefully, it will only last for the rest of this year. Trump gets elected, and the first thing that he can do is start deporting these criminal migrants back to where they came from. And hopefully those people can work to make their own communities and their own homeland better rather than flee back to the United States or abandon ship like they have already done. But back to the story, more than half of voters in Portland would still consider leaving the city if they could afford to, according to a poll commissioned by the Portland Police Union. But somehow, just 4 years ago, they actually voted for this nonsense. So, was something going on with that election, or did people have a change of heart? I don't know if Democrat-infested Portland necessarily had a change of heart, but that's something I guess we'll just never know, right? But it found that almost 2/3 of people believe the city is on the wrong track, and 68% say it is losing what made it special. I don't know what actually made it special in the first place. I've never been there, don't care to be there. But whatever it is, the local people realize that it's losing its spark. Anyways, I just wanted to give you an update on the Democrats in Oregon actually realizing they had made a mistake. They've seen the consequences of their actions and they're trying to reel it back. But at this point, it's got so bad. And who knows if they'll really be able to get themselves back on the correct path after doing so much damage to themselves over the past, 4+ years. I'm going to wrap up there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.